everybody to Fade to Obsidian. We are a Red Rising podcast of spaceships and relationships, but today we're not talking Red Rising, but we will definitely talk spaceships and relationships, I am sure. I am Skipper, joined as always by Crescent, and special guest today, Sylvain Neuvel. Welcome!
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited. This is like 2 years in the making, much longer, because I've known you
Much
for
longer than
much
that. It's like
longer than that. But
it's
since the
almost a
podcast,
decade in the making.
how old is Themis? 8 or 9 years now. I was trying to think of this.
April 2016.
So it's coming up on 9 years. Wow.
Coming up on 9. I mean, I wrote it in 2013, so it's older than that for me, but publishing is publishing, so.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe it.
Yep.
It's crazy. So everyone listening, we are going to do full spoilers for the Themis files. We can like hint at some other stuff, but we can do full spoilers. Because people in the den have been reading along, which has been really fun. That I get to like sit there and like monitor as they read for the first time. Before we jump into anything, what are you drinking? What do you got?
What a good beer. We went to a cottage like a couple of weekends ago, and I bought like random ass beer at the grocery store because it was cheap, and half of them are really not good. And this is this was the last one in the fridge, and I didn't feel like opening a bottle of wine, though I might because it's not that good.
It's not that good.
It's called La Fosse Rivière Secrète. It's all right. I mean, it's a session IPA, but it's like,
Yeah, that's fair.
Not thrilled.
No. Oh, that's
No.
upsetting. I also have beer. I have Creemore, which is local to me, which is also like, it's pretty good, but it's like a meh. It is what it is, kind of. It's just a lager. Yeah. What do you have, Crescent?
I have Scotch. I've got Ardbeg Oogdal.
Oh, see, now we're talking. Yeah.
We'll see. I might flip to Great Western Light.
Yeah, I might do the opposite and up the octane a bit.
Well, I have the writer's tears that I got because we were talking to Pierce last week. So that was appropriate. I can also drink writer's tears for you. But I'm trying to take it easy because, we we got to interview Pierce last Thursday, and during and afterwards, I got a little bit too into the alcohol, and then had a hangover and had to show up in Saskatoon with a hangover, and we just kept drinking. So
kept it rolling.
Yeah, we never really combated it. Yeah, exactly. Caesar fixes everything. Yeah.
When in Saskatchewan.
Absolutely.
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a polar vortex. You're supposed to be drinking.
Yeah. How cold is it in Montreal right now?
By the way, I don't know other than it's cold.
It's just cold. How cold is it?
It's only -1 today.
You have the warm weather summonably. I don't get it.
It was only -40 here when you were here.
It was -20 today in Toronto. Montreal's got to be colder than Toronto.
No, it wasn't that bad today. It felt horrible, but it was technically, it's -15.
Okay.
Yeah, it just feels like -682.
So cold.
Yesterday was worse. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and like Louisiana has snow. Like it's crazy what's happening right now. I don't know.
Snow. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll jump into actual things here. We did have people submit questions, and there kind of is two giant themes that I will say, and you'll figure it out as we go along. But before anything, I'm gonna ask the question, and you have answered this one a lot, but I don't think you've answered it recently, and it's what inspired Themis Files? It's the question you always ask, but I'm gonna do it.
All right, but I'll give you it's not like, I haven't told that same speech 1,000 million times, but I'm going to pivot to Pierce somewhere in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You get a special version of the...
Ooh.
All right, so...
Tailoring it.
I was watching Japanese anime with my kid. He was like 3 at the time. It's called Grandizer, big giant robot, no
Okay.
plot, whatever. And I work on a computer all day, and that was my day job back then. And you on the computer at night. So once in a while, I try to do physical things like build stuff. I make costumes. I do stuff. And so I asked my kid, "Would you like me to build you a toy robot?" And the correct answer to that question is yes, Dad, please. And we leave it at that. But my kid is my kid, right? He didn't fall too far from the tree, so he starts asking too many questions. Kind of robot. Does it fly? Does it have pilots? Does it lasers? Whatever. So suddenly I realized he wanted a backstory to go with the toy. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to write a kid robot story or whatever. But I just, the idea simmered a bit. And one night I started writing on my iPhone. What turned out to be a story for adults. The idea was like what would happen. My thought process was what would happen if in real life we found some giant artifact
Mm.
left from thousands of years ago by an alien civilization. And my first thought was we wouldn't know about it. It would be, top secret, and only a handful of people would be aware of that thing's existence. But I thought it would leave some kind of paper trail. These people would have to write reports. They'd have to, just write shit down. It would create paper. And I thought, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the paper trail, and I'll be Themis files. So I keep writing on my phone, and I get to about halfway through the book. And I mean, I'm doing this for fun, right? I have no intention of publishing it and whatnot. But
Yeah.
about halfway through, we're like, it's not bad. Maybe I can do something with it. So I finish it. And as I finish it, comes the now infamous BuzzFeed article about Pierce. Uh, and we're reading that thing and we're like, can you imagine how your life changes like in an instant? And you go from like, I was just doing this shit, that no one was able to read. And now all of a sudden I have a 3-book deal and a movie deal. And we thought, can you imagine how your life changes? Now, fast forward, I don't know, 4 months later, I had a movie deal and a 3-book deal. Pierce and I had the same movie agent. We ended up with the same publisher. We ended up with the same editor at the same publisher. So I kind of went through the thing that I saw him go through at first, and yeah, it does change your life, I guess.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah, no kidding.
hilarious.
That's amazing.
It's so
That
fun.
was my Pierce pivot.
I like it. I like it. I noticed Crescent's face though. Crescent, do you know about the BuzzFeed article?
I don't know about the BuzzFeed article.
The BuzzFeed article. It was like he
It's
was
the
like the
BuzzFeed
hottest.
article.
It's the buzz. If you were in the fan, like the Red Rising fandom back then, we used to make fun of people who like joined of like, oh, I found the BuzzFeed article, and you're like, oh, and it was
Yep.
like this hot up and coming author and like really focusing on the hot and like good looking. And we all went, the BuzzFeed article.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
Yep.
Sounds
I
like
don't.
BuzzFeed.
I don't know if it's up anymore.
At
If it
least
is,
someone
I'll
wrote
like
it. I
add
mean,
it
that was
in.
back in the day where they're still making like real content with real
Yeah.
people. Now they're pivoting to whatever the hell they want to do. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was the good BuzzFeed even.
Yes. If I can find it, I'll put up a little blurb somewhere. I don't know.
The
Where on my
picture is
Okay.
screen.
something.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so I'm gonna jump off that answer just a little bit
Yeah.
here, and I'm gonna go down the list a little ways, in a comparison to Pierce. So Themis Files was published just after Morningstar was released. Did you purposely make the colors of the
Oh.
books the inverse of Pierce's
Because you have to. Hold
for release
Yeah,
order?
no. The only thing I did.
on.
So
That
you,
part. I can't hold this much. Hold on.
yeah, but you have the one with the hole, right?
Yes.
So the only thing I did in these covers is give him the alien map, that little symbol you see through the hole, or if you have the paperback, it's like in the middle of the triangle. So all I did was that. They found some guy who makes, or I think it's a guy, I forgot his name, who makes like mechanical sculpture looking
Yeah.
drawings,
Oh, okay.
and they gave me covers with holes. But other than that, no, I didn't get much of a say on the cover. They tried a bunch of things. Because if you read the book, you see the cover, right? It's a girl in a hole in the palm of a giant hand. That's what you have in your mind. It's what they did for the special edition.
The subterranean.
Yeah,
I've
that.
got. If you're
Okay.
listening and not on YouTube, you should
Yeah,
probably
so
jump
that or
over.
that. So basically, this is what you're going for. But when we tried it, well, when they tried it at Random House, and when I tried it at home, because this was going to be self-published,
Mm.
I couldn't make it work. I
There's
built the hands. I had little figures. That was the self-published version.
Yeah.
It's a toy figure that I made for my son, for real, on top of a Tupperware, on top of my car, on a bridge here, not far from
A little
home.
bit of forced perspective.
Yeah.
I love it.
But the colors are just
Yeah,
sort
that's
of
great.
random. My next series, they went for beige,
Yeah.
then blue, then red. Yeah. But there's a lot of, red, yellow, blue. It just,
Yeah. Oh,
I, but I think one of the reasons maybe they didn't go with red at the beginning is probably for it to not, because I mean, it was the same place that Pierce's book was coming out of.
Oh,
So maybe they didn't really want to follow the same color pattern, or maybe
Yeah.
the thought never even crossed their mind, and it just whatever.
Mhm.
primary
Yeah,
color.
Maybe
but
it's
we
just
get
a
very
total
little
random
say in what
coincidence.
appears on our books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have a favorite cover? As I sit here trying to figure them all.
I don't know. I mean, the Subpress special editions are super cool, and it's a Montreal artist, Pascal Blanchet, who did it. He used to work for Ubisoft. The little one, it's part of Penguin Picks.
Oh.
Is some super famous
Is that this one?
artist he does street art too, but he's like I forgot his name's in there somewhere, and now I'm blanking, and I feel like an idiot.
Just Banksy.
Hold on. It
Yeah,
is
not quite.
Banksy.
Yeah,
I'm
it's his
looking.
cousin, uh,
Mhm.
Banksy's cousin.
It's ATMZ.
But there's a lot of stuff that
Oh.
you'd recognize from that artist if you saw it, and I think it looks really cool.
I'm trying to.
And it's tiny. I like tiny
Yeah.
books. But we'll find the name.
We'll find the name. We'll put it up
Yeah.
somewhere.
Put it in the comments somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. It's not in the.
I did like
just-
my cover though. It was kind of cool.
Your cover is great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
It was made to look like an old newspaper printing of
Oh.
a photograph.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it had the file thing going. I was happy.
Now I just have books
That
everywhere.
boxes that book here. Could never sell it. It's just here.
It's the true special collector is that one.
Yep, that is the true special collector's edition, and it does exist in hardcover and paperback.
Oh, I only have the hard.
I feel like at this point, there's got to be some people willing to buy that.
A lot of people have asked, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the thing that
Maybe for charity or something. I mean, I wrote a grammar.
I was about to say.
And we sold that for charity. That also existed in hardcover and paperback. Written by not me, but Vincent Couture.
Yeah.
From the books. And I mean, it was a good thing it was for charity because so many things are iffy in there. I mean, the cover, it looks like a De Gruyter academic book. It's sort of a ripoff of a real thing. So you just don't sue the dude selling stuff for charity and not for profit. But yeah.
Well, I brought this one up in the den because there's a lot of questions. Shout out to Bobbin has been trying to figure out the number system and has been losing her mind. And then I was like, oh, this exists too. And they all were like, would you do another run of it? Because they were all fascinated that I had this one.
There's still some. I mean, I'm looking for the right time. I have we're out of hardcovers. There were 100. I don't know how many there were, but there were a lot of paperbacks still left, like half a box.
25. I think you only had 25 of the. and this is
maybe,
more.
could
Maybe
be.
this is just
I don't
not.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have a lot of paperbacks that I need to
Mm.
someday get rid of. Yeah,
Well, we know
we'll wait
people
for
who
the
would buy them.
apocalypse again.
Yeah, because
I
that's
mean,
it was
there's
a
one
COVID
every couple of
theory.
years now, so it's okay.
So true.
It was one long extended apocalypse.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
don't think it never really stopped, really. Yeah.
Mhm.
no, we all just kind of adapted. I just happened to open up to the page of the numbers.
The numbers are easy. Uh, the well,
Don't want to
the
spoil
odd
this.
numbers are they're pointing outwards. So like if it's spiky, it's an odd number.
Mm.
If it's roundish,
Mhm.
it's an even number.
Oh,
And then you
okay.
just count the number of lines, and you're good to go. So
Okay.
and then the base 8 system goes from right to left. So I mean, it's fairly easy to catch on once you dive into it. God,
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. Uh, yeah,
Pe- People
I feel
love
like
it
it
though.
takes
Yeah.
one though.
Yeah. How
the
much?
numbers are cool.
How much work did
There's a
it?
writing system in there that I made up just for that. That doesn't exist anywhere. But
Oh,
Really?
yeah,
I don't know if I've actually really looked through all of this.
but you go to the part with images,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
Classic.
also has little stories about Vincent and his daughter, and about going with Eva to the market, and it's got some extra content that is apart from like the dictionary and grammar.
Yeah. Here's the super cool. Yeah, people also for those listening and don't know, there's also the Lost Files, which like Crescent, you didn't know about the Lost Files when you were reading through, and then I
No.
recently dropped that website. That was
Oh, they're
fun.
lost.
Yeah. Is there
I
Found
mean,
more?
that's why
now.
you didn't know about them. If they'd been found,
But that's a cool like I
um,
feel like you have lots of little Easter egg and lore and like hidden things, which is fun.
I like how they're still the lost files. I got 3 editors for 3 books at Del Rey. And when you started doing that, I was on my second editor, and he didn't like the
Mm.
Lost Files. He called them the Themis Files Archives.
Oh, okay.
That's what it says on the cover.
Yeah.
Uh, but they're the Lost Files.
There's Lost Files. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got basically one story per book, more or less, that fits somewhere in the book or in between books. And if you go to thethemisfiles.com, you can find all of them in EPUB or PDF. And they come with a warning about what you're going to spoil if you haven't read the whole thing. So some of them you really, really can't read first, and some of them you're fine. You could read them. You could read them as they happen. I
Yeah.
think it's file number 2 is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
That's awesome. Is that just like were those already written and you cut them, or were they? Did you write
No,
them
no,
after?
they're promo stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Uh, and it was like super nice to go back to this, because as I said, I wrote it in 2013, right? So I queried this thing for about half of 2014, and then I was going to self-publish, and I got a Kirkus review September,
Mm.
whatever, October, and within a month I had everything: the movie deal, the book deal, I had auctioned, I had everything changed in like 3 weeks. Uh, but so this is late 2014. The book comes out mid 2016. I've had a lot of time by then. So I have book 2 in my head. Had it since the beginning. There was sort of like I just wanted to write book 2 at some point. That's why I self-published, to give me an excuse to put it on paper. So that one I just poured out of me in like
Mm.
a few months. And then I started book 3, but by the time the first book came out, I was kind of almost done with this. So it was super nice to every time a new book came out, to go back to the universe and write a little bit of Themis Files.
Nice. Yeah, because they came back out in quick succession, right? One a year for 3 years, which is
Yep.
nice. Yeah. Crescent, when
Yep.
did you find? When did you start reading them?
mid early last year, maybe
Yeah.
2023. I don't know, whenever you introduced me to them.
Oh, okay.
When you get
I
to the
forgot that.
last
I was.
one, there's one that happens after the series ended.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, and there's a big WTF moment at the end, and I thought, I gotta do something about that. And well, we can talk about it next time, but there's a beginning of an answer to that question in the very end of my next series.
Yeah. We're tying them all.
Oh.
I'm tying it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to next time we'll do a deep dive the links of the two because that's super fun. Was that always? Well, I guess we can talk about it next time. I was gonna say, is that always planned, or was that just a happy accident
No, it
with
was sort of
Damage?
always planned. I wanted to write like two separate universes and but that were connected in my head from the start.
Yeah,
So the I mean, there are so many decisions like what year people are born in this series so that it
it links to the.
fits with other things in the other
Oh,
series, what year events happen in the other series, even though it was constrained by real life like
yeah,
events, so that things sort of jive. Yeah, I was
interesting.
happy with my little conspiracy
I like it.
of one.
Conspiracy of one. I like it.
Yep.
It's all that it takes.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. How much research? This was a big question people had. Was how much research do you like? There's a ton. How much more? Like, what's that process? I guess is the question of researching everything.
endless. Part of it is I'm an idiot. Uh, I have a PhD from the University of Chicago, no less.
Ah,
And my thesis, my dissertation for that PhD is literally nothing. It's like chump change compared to the research that went into just the first book of the Themis files. Everything, everything, like literally everything. Well, for starters, I know nothing about metals or asteroids or political systems or special ops or helicopters or maps or I mean I know nothing, right? So every single thing is detailed and some people will, because time is money and most people will not see the difference. So smart people, cut corners where and focus on what's important. I'm like, hell no. I So, like third chapter, something like that. Kara's helicopter crashes in on the way back from a low altitude flight in Syria, and she crashes in Turkey somewhere. And so, but I plotted her flight, right? First, I found some places where there were alleged nuclear tests in Syria, and so you got to go from the base in Turkey to that, and how do you avoid high terrain? So I spent like days looking at altitude maps of Syria, and of course now I have every government agency in the world has a big ass file on me.
yeah.
Uh,
I wonder if they
so
call
I
it the
plot the
Themis file.
path, and like on the way back, I see on the satellite view a bunch of little dots in a square configuration, and like, okay, this is where she crashes. But what is that? So, like, it's some kind of plant, right? So I start reading about agriculture in southern Turkey, and you what they grow and how big the things are, and then I look at pictures of plantations, and eventually I figure out it's a pistachio field. So, but that's literally like a week of my life looking at maps of Syria and finding that it's a friggin' pistachio field. Meanwhile, I've written two lines. Uh,
But you're.
everything. I mean, you
I was.
went to the restaurant at
I
DuPont
did.
Circle.
I
I mean,
haven't
my characters
here.
go to a restaurant, it's a real place. And of course, I
Yeah.
spent like, an afternoon looking at reviews on Yelp to see what people
Somewhere.
were eating and what they enjoyed, because I'm not going to order bad food
Yeah.
for the characters. So, I
Somewhere in
mean, when
here I
he
have
says
the receipt.
you got to have the kung pao chicken, the Indonesian rice is also really good. This is an informed statement based on hundreds and hundreds of reviews.
I'm trying to find somewhere I have the receipt in here. There it is. There you go. I got the Kung Pao chicken. And I had to
That
pay a
thing is
bag
cool.
fee. They don't talk about the bag fee. I guess they sit down in the restaurant. I got it to
They
go.
do sit down, yeah.
So I don't have to pay the bag fee. There you go. Yeah.
Even
It
though the
is.
sniper is asleep, they do sit down.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, and it just won't stop. It's like that from, beginning to end. Every inch of that is just because I don't know, I can't half-ass it. And
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help the book, doesn't help the plot, doesn't help anything, but I feel better while I'm writing it. And I assume that sort of ends up translating on the page a bit, that I'm more confident about stuff or not. I mean, I'm trying to find excuses because I love doing research, but yeah.
Well, I'm sure you don't get many of the comments other people, like other authors, get of like, that wouldn't exist. That's not real. You've probably cut at least half of those out.
You
Mhm.
cut a lot of it, but you don't cut all of them. I've had some of it is cool. Like as you go farther down this series, like book 2 has sort of a genetics plot line,
Yep.
and there's a little here's genetics 101, it's like at the beginning, at the restaurant, I think. It's in a conversation between the interviewer and Mr. Burns. And I found out later that they used that book in an introductory class to genetics at some university because they wanted students to sort of get excited about that, but and read about it in
Oh,
a like sort of novel and more interesting way. So that was super cool.
that is
Uh,
cool.
Oh, cool.
yeah, I got some physicists writing to me about the sort of beam weapons that the giant robots use, and he was like, I kind of, yeah, I sort of agree, but he had like some little nitpicky things, but overall he was happy with it. What you do get is I had to write to you because I started reading and I loved it, but I couldn't suspend disbelief because on page 681, or I'm just making this up, there are not 681 pages. I am not Pierce. Uh, some guy opens a panel on this, with a screwdriver, and everyone knows it would be an Allen key, and you're like, I don't know, but yeah, maybe, yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah. Someone always
yeah.
has to spoil the fun. So then, how many animals did you research? Because we get the squirrels, we get the axolotls. What else? Oh, the fish is the other
I
book.
mean, axolotls, I did spend some time on, but half of it was for fun. It wasn't really necessary for the story. I just needed like habitat and what they'll fight.
Mm.
Basically, that's what I wanted. But I read on axolotls for a couple days. Squirrels, I did a lot of research on because it's a rabbit hole, right? And you start finding, how much do they remember? So you get like controlled environment studies on nut retrieval abilities, and then you find military applications of squirrel nut retrieval abilities and things like that. And so, yeah. Are there any other animals? Not sure, but
No.
definitely squirrels and axolotls. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Did
Let's
you
make
build
it's funny
any
because you read people
squirrel?
give writing advice, and says if it's not essential to the plot, you get rid of it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This is It's a
It's
squirrel. You
all
get 2 pages
essential.
of squirrels. Why? Because it's cool. It's a squirrel, and they search nuts and they hide them, and the army wants to do what they do. And it's like, no, you're learning about squirrels. It will not help the plot in any way, shape, or form. But you are getting 2 pages of squirrels. I'm sorry.
It's memorable.
Yeah.
Always stands
If
out.
I find cool stuff, you are learning about it.
I
I
love
don't
it.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you build any squirrel obstacle courses?
No, no. But I did watch them. Right.
There's a lot of
Hmm.
Everyone
YouTube
has watched
channels.
Fat Gus go through the
Yes.
the
Absolutely.
maze. Yep.
Yes. Hilarious. You do have birds in your backyard, though, don't you?
I
Is your
do. We
bird
got
camera still up?
one of those little uh what's it called? Bird buddy. Like a little bird feeder with a camera on it, and it's
No.
super cool.
Mhm.
I had to train the birds to come because we don't have the right kind of birds. We have a lot of just tiny birds, and they don't really like the house at like the little feeder at
Mm.
first. So I found some bird chants and I played them on a Bluetooth speaker below the birdhouse uh, for like 3 days. It was fall, it was freezing, but eventually I got them to come, and now they love it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you get squirrels though too?
Oh
So
yeah,
like my bag. Yeah.
yeah. We have to buy a no squirrel food.
Mm.
Like there's a squirrel with a big red circle on the
Yeah.
bag. Basically, it gives them a tummy ache, makes them want to throw up, and they're not the smartest of things. But after 2 or 3 times of like going there and then feeling bad 20 minutes later, they kind of
They
put two
figure
and
it
two
out.
together.
Yeah.
But they're not. I mean, they're okay. We found a baby squirrel. Did you know about little Larry the second? Uh,
No. The second. No.
it's
Oh
a
no.
well, Larry is the squirrel in Waking God. But so
Oh,
we
that's why
found a
then.
baby
Yeah.
squirrel on the street, and the mom wouldn't take it back, so
Mm.
it spent a night in our house in a box. And so
Yeah.
the next day, we're trying to like reintroduce it in the wild, and so he really doesn't want to do that. But we put him in a tree, and he's holding on to it. So we're like, okay, run. So we leave him there. So I go to work, come back, and I see a little thing like far, far, far away on the sidewalk. So I scream like, Larry? And he starts running and he climbs on me and he goes on my shoulder and he huddles into a ball. It's like, how do you get rid of Larry now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't. You keep him forever.
I feel bad now. I mean, if I had to do it over again, I would have built Larry a little house in the backyard and he could have come in and out and sort of, return to the wild on his own terms
Yeah. I
at
had
the speed he
a
wanted or whatnot, but we kind of
yeah.
forced it on him, and I think he probably tried things that were not advisable for a young
Yeah.
squirrel and probably did not make it. But
I had
live and
a
learn, you
pet
know.
squirrel. I had a pet squirrel. Similar situation. We found it in the backyard. I think we had found the dead mother though, so we took it in, and it was in the summer, so it just lived with like a screened-in back porch, and it just lived out there for 6 weeks until my parents eventually were like, "Okay, it's too big now. Like we're calling an animal rescue." But it was fully potty trained. It would only go to the bathroom on newspaper. Yeah, his name was Rocky.
It's super affectionate too. I mean, that thing would hug like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was it was cool. I mean, but now I know better. So if we ever come across little Larry the third, his fate will be very different
Yeah.
than that of little Larry the second.
A little there a second. Yeah. I had to send Rocky away. He went to live live somewhere in the woods with the
Yeah.
Oh, live upstate.
No. I believe he's still alive to this day, even though he would be, oh God, 20 almost. I believe he's
Yeah,
still
Larry
alive.
is a very wise little
Yeah.
squirrel walking with a
He's
cane.
Lariatric.
Oh,
Aw. No axolotls
Larry,
though. You're
you
not finding
seek Larry,
axolotls.
come, good food.
Oh.
That was
Yeah,
my
yeah,
Yoda
kids don't miss.
impression.
Ah,
It was great.
I like it. I
Right.
like it. No axolotls though. You're not finding those in the backyard.
No, people buy them. It's kind of
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's like
There's
a
very
fun
few.
pet
Like,
people have. Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't mind having an Amazon Molly though. That we can
Mm.
also talk about next time.
Next time we'll do the Amazon
Yep.
Molly. Yeah.
I don't
Can
think
you?
they're in danger of extinction, and they
Oh,
live in Texas, so it's less of a big trip.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could- Just a tank of them and just keep breeding them. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
That'll be great. What other questions do we have? Trying to
More
think.
squirrels. More
More
squirrels.
squirrels. That's all I want. Oh, this was a Crescent question. Is there a particular accomplishment inside this story that you're most proud of?
Oh, well, it's my first book, right? So there's a
Yeah.
lot. uh, I mean, I wrote 80,000 words of unattributed dialogue, and someone published it and people read it, but like a butt ton of people read it. So that's something. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's huge.
I don't
Absolutely.
do you find another book that is pretty much entirely unattributed dialogue anywhere.
Yeah.
I wrote 3.
I do know
So I
someone
was happy with
who
that.
has not
Yeah,
published theirs, but you
absolutely.
inspired them to make an attempt to write. I think they got through like a few chapters of they wanted to see if they could do what you had done, and they were like, it was near impossible to like.
I've got letters from a lot of people who said they were, inspired in terms of
Uh,
format, but mostly they go with like some sort of epistolary novel, not 100%
yeah,
unattributed dialogue without ever saying who's, talking.
yeah.
Yeah.
It lends itself then so well to the audiobook. Like
Yeah,
that's what I think
absolutely.
makes it one of the best audiobooks out there. That's always what I
I got
recommend.
super lucky with that. Well, the format helped, right? It's not,
Hmm.
it would be really weird to have one person just read all this because there's no narrator. So it lent itself to a multicast, and there's like a ton of people. There's over 20 people in that production. It's amazing. And so they did all 3. By then, we'd won like an audio award. We were nominated for a bunch of audio prizes. It was like, one of the most popular sci-fi things on Audible and whatnot. So suddenly I had an audio reputation. So when my next series came around, uh, you have an editor in the US and an editor in the UK. I had the same editor in the UK than I had for my first 3 books. And they insisted, that we go back and do a multicast again. So I have 6 novels out, 6 multicast recordings. Uh, and
Yeah,
it's not my choice. It's luck. It's just pure luck, but I'll take it. Yeah.
yeah. Is the test also multicast?
No,
I don't. No. Okay. I don't think I've listened to the test. I've only read
Neil
the
Shaw is
test.
super good though.
Dang.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was
he,
really, really good.
he was really good. He did an amazing job. And basically, you have 2 characters there you're dealing with both men. I mean, it's not,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's easier to have a single. And then No Kindness Too Soon, which we won't spoil anything from that. But then that was the big, you get the full production from Audible, which was really cool.
It was amazing to do though, because one of the things, there are sort of challenges in writing a story that is all but nothing but unattributed dialogue, mostly that it's unattributed. So it's on paper, right? So you, people have to be sort of recognizable by the way they speak, and there's only so much you can do. Can, you can't have 50 characters with that sound different on paper
Hmm.
to the point where you'll recognize them for a whole book without me ever telling you they're speaking. So, so I got to do this thing for Audible. I was thrilled because I had people. They
Yeah.
it doesn't exist on paper. I was writing with people with accents, and so 7 people in the room. It's fine, whatever. They're all there. Make it 12, 15. It doesn't matter. So that was fun, and they did
Yeah.
a great job with the production too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The full sound effects, full music. It's amazing. Which I believe is still anyone with an Audible subscription can get for free, if I recall.
Yeah, I don't
It
know how it
doesn't
works,
count
but if you
as.
had the Audible Plus, whatever,
Yeah.
the like monthly thing,
Yeah.
not buying credits, but if you had the monthly thing, you could read it for free, and I think it's still there.
Hmm.
Yep.
Highly recommend that one.
Called
At
No Kindness Too Soon.
Yeah, very much recommend. It's like 2 hours, so it's kind of a shorter one.
Yeah,
But
it's a short thing. That's what they
Yeah.
want, really. Um, they've made full novel length things, but mostly when they produce, they were trying to make shorter things like novella length,
yeah,
because that's what their customers prefer, I guess.
we all have short attention spans now.
I write tiny books.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
okay.
yeah, well, especially the test is shorter too, and I guess
Mhm.
with the all the just being dialogue, less words because you just fill more. It seems longer, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, the Themis files is about 80K per
Yeah.
book, which is short-ish.
Yeah.
But
You mentioned all their different voices. Is that why then, like in Themis files, like Alyssa has her stutter? They all have like the different things. Was that intentional for to tell them apart?
yeah, I mean, Alyssa, I could sort of hear it, but like the interviewer, for example, doesn't use contraction. He's kind of like Data in Star Trek: The
Mm.
Next Generation.
Mm.
So he doesn't say he says it is, and it's kind of hard to write a whole book of that person without ever using one. But I did it anyway. But it was meant to make him recognizable, and then they added the bold when they printed it. But
Mm.
when I wrote it, there was no bold for him.
Bold.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
So that was an editor's choice then? Just to,
I suppose, yeah,
yeah,
somewhere, I
somewhere
don't know,
along the
somewhere
lines.
at the publisher, but
Yeah.
probably the editor.
Interesting. Yeah.
Did you see it and go, ah, damn it, I wish I thought of that?
Yeah, and I mean, and I got to use it afterwards when I wrote the last of the Lost Files. It would have been, I would have had to sort of like explain it, but I could just write bold,
Yeah.
and that was okay. It was like, yeah,
Makes it a lot
cool.
easier.
Yep.
Mhm.
Context clues. Love it. Love it. Okay, here's a strange question that I'm going to ask you that we're then going to follow up on. Is there ever a question in any of these interviews that you wish somebody asked you?
Hmm. Well, there were, uh, but I managed to sort of like ask him myself on
Okay.
social over the years. Like, there's a lot of little Easter eggs, right?
Yeah.
In these things about movies, about, yeah, there's a scene where they're gonna bomb the Madrid, and the dialogue between the tower and the plane is using names from Adventures in Babysitting, for example, and I couldn't wait for someone to figure it out. Uh, there's numbers that keep coming back, or variations on these numbers, from company numbers to anything with a number is going to have
Yeah.
that string of numbers. uh 4, 6, 2, 5, 7, 3, or some variation on it. I wrote a story for Star Wars, and it's about a stormtrooper, and his original name was, well, the name of the story was TK146272, and they changed it to TK462 afterwards. But anyway, there's the same number coming up over and over and over again in all the books that I have. And it's from Kareth Thrace's dog tag number in the remake of Battlestar Galactica. Uh,
That is a deep cut.
That
that
is a
is the,
wildly deep
yeah.
cut.
So, but there's more obvious stuff, but like you sort of always want someone to pick up on it, and
Yeah.
the ones that people pick up on some, but the ones that I really liked, they were like they would never come up. I'm like, damn it.
Too well hidden.
Yep.
Someone will get there. That's hilarious. Because there's a lot of Star Wars references, but I feel like those are easier, at
Yeah,
least
there's
for
Star
me,
Wars
to pick
references.
up.
There's Farscape references.
Yeah.
There's Star Trek references. There's all sorts of stuff
Yeah.
in
All,
there,
all the nerdy,
and
silly
Adventures in
things.
Babysitting.
I don't even think I know what Adventures in Babysitting is.
It's an amazing movie with Elizabeth Shue,
Okay.
who's babysitting the Andersons family, and they end up going out for whatever reason, and they get in trouble. And but there's a mechanic who looks like Thor, and the kid the young girl who's like a big fan of Thor, has the helmet and a little hammer, thinks he's the real Thor. And when he saved him, she says, she knew he was the real Thor. But it's adventures in babysitting. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
I'll have to take a look. I wonder what streaming service it's on
Then watch.
nowadays. Then
Yeah,
watch.
I don't know how well it aged. Uh,
That's a big question nowadays, some
No,
of these things. Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see. We do
We
den
know
watches
that
all the
Santa
time.
Claus Conquers the Martians did not age
but
well.
we have like sort of shitty movies that we keep going to, like Working Girl with Melanie Griffith. I've watched that movie like, I don't know, 50 million times. It's really not that good, but I've still watched it
Yeah.
50 million times. I don't know why.
It's the comfort
When
movies
Harry
at
Met
this point.
Sally, whatever. So, and Adventures in Babysitting.
Adventures in Babysitting. I like it. Yeah, last week we watched during Pierce's holiday party the what was it? Santa Claus Conquers the
Santa Claus
Martians.
Conquers the Martians.
It's
Movie.
one of the worst rated movies on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's public domain is how it got chosen. Because we needed to be able to stream it. And so that was Crescent, I think you found that one, didn't you?
Yep. I'm so sorry.
I mean, it's one of those titles you wish you'd come up with. I mean, there's some stuff I'm like,
Yeah.
God, I wish it was me.
Yeah.
Well, and it was just so like thematically perfect.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
holiday party, and he's conquering the Martians.
Yeah. I think Pierce
I mean,
commented in the chat that he's canceling Red God because he can't beat Santa Claus Conquers the
No, it
Martians.
was he was basically making Red God into the plot of that.
Oh, that's yeah. Just steal that. It's perfect.
in 18,000 pages.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the longest book.
Yep.
Yeah. Is
Mine
there a
got
reason?
smaller.
I was gonna say Is there a reason you don't do long, or do you prefer just you can tell the story better and shorter?
I think I can tell the story better and shorter. I hate descriptions. I really hate descriptions. Even when I'm not writing an attributed dialogue, I don't describe much. It annoys me. As a reader, I don't like if like bleh. So
Yeah.
so when I read someone else's books, often I'm like, you know, I've just read 5 pages and literally nothing happened. They just walked into an office. Like, what the hell is that? And sometimes it's well done and I don't notice it, which is awesome. That means it was like the writer's a genius. But sometimes I'm like, okay, could we, you know,
Yeah.
do
So
something? So yeah, I do write short.
you're not a Tolkien
Uh,
fan there of describing all the leaves on the trees and all that, like how Tolkien does.
Not particularly, no, especially for 300 pages before we do anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah.
But I did, that allowed me though to keep the sort of easy crossover with the young adult
Mm,
crowd. We both had that with Red Rising, me and him. They were tiny books. They they transferred super well to a young adult crowd, which is not quite, I suppose, as easy to do with a
yeah.
yeah
Becomes intimidating.
yeah.
Even I feel like
Uh,
adults, a lot of books at this point, I'm like, nah, too long. I'm not reading it.
Same.
Yeah.
Start
Old
dwindling
time is
quickly.
precious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Would you say Crescent?
I
You
said
like
I
long
read Wind
books.
and Truth in a week.
Oh God.
I mean, I do
I
like
didn't
big
do much
books. If
that
I
week.
really like the book, then I'm happy that there's more of it than if it was
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
small book. But
100%.
Yeah. But it takes, I feel like,
It's
more to
daunting
get
to
into.
it's daunting to get into something like that.
Yeah.
yeah, I host a thing every week here and at the local bar. We get writers to come and talk about their stuff, and I have to normally I read their book before I do their interview, and sometimes it's like,
Like I don't have
like
time for
really, you
this.
don't like did. Let's see if they have another one. Uh,
Where's the Sparks notes for this? The Coles notes. How do I
yeah.
Someone summarize this. Yeah. I feel that. That's I think why I haven't read much of Brandon Sanderson is because it's too intimidating. That I was like, I don't have time for this. I already had to sit through Game of Thrones and the rest of them aren't getting published anytime soon.
But I mean, early, right? Because if you read, I don't know, 20 pages of a book that's like this thick and you're not really sold, you might keep going,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But if you read 20 pages of something that is this thick and you're not really sold, it's like, it's not going to be for you, right?
Yeah,
So, and you
for sure.
feel good, you've accomplished something, you saved yourself like literally thousands of hours of disappointment.
That's a great way
Amazing.
of looking
You're
at it.
better than reading it.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Some people are so scared to like do not like
DNF. Yeah, I
DNF.
don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was for the
And it's
longest time, and then
it's
I just
usually
got to a
not a
point. It's
reflection
like
on
I
the
don't
book
have enough.
either.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just not for me.
I DNF'd Song of Ice and Fire. I can't. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a bad book. It was just not for me, and I have nothing bad to say about the book. It was just literally not the book for me. But
yeah,
like, and sometimes it's like it's not the book for you as a person. Sometimes it's not the book for you at that particular moment.
yeah,
You know, summer,
absolutely.
winter,
Yeah,
breakup. I don't know.
yeah,
It doesn't matter. There's plenty of reasons to not enjoy a book at any time that have nothing to do with the quality of the book. So
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
What are you reading these days, or watching, enjoying? Is there anything you're overly interested in?
um, what am I reading? I have two books by Joma West that I'm reading right now.
Mm.
One that's not really finished. I'm just like lucky.
Ooh.
And the other one is called Twice Lived. It's super cool. What else am I reading? Well, I'm still reading like a bit. That's the thing is I'm slow at reading things because I once a month we have two guests, so that's usually two novels to read.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much my quota. I'll read a third, but I don't read 8 books in a month for
Oh, that's so many.
not if I'm trying to write, it doesn't work. So I read what I have to.
Yeah.
And once in a while I read what I really want to, like this John West book, Twice Lived, that I really wanted because I was waiting for it and I ordered it twice by mistake. So now I own 2 copies of it.
Ah, such a sad mistake. I do that all the time. I pre-order
Yeah,
things too early, and then by the time they
same.
come in, I'm like, oh no, there's 4 copies. Oh no. That's how I ended up with all the Themis files. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
That was a purposeful how I ended up with all of them. Yeah.
You have one of the most extensive collections, I think.
Well,
I'd say besides mine.
I was gonna say you supported my collection a lot, and I was trying to set them up. Except for I'm looking that I set them up in the wrong order. That you can't actually see yours behind me. All you can see is Pearson v. Schwab. You can see the ones I didn't swap out. I should be over here showing off yours. But that started, I think, just because I got the French one, and then you gave me the Brazilian Portuguese, and at that point I was like, well, this is a thing now, and I had to collect them
Yeah,
all.
once you have the Brazilian Portuguese,
It's
you're
the
in trouble, right?
downfall. Yeah.
I think I gave you the Chinese one too.
I have the Chinese. You gave me a bunch. I have the Chinese. Which other ones have you given me? Whatever that language is. I don't even know what this one is. Hold on. Mr. Yacht Yacht's on top.
I have a box of Mr. Yacht Yacht that I need to, like, I don't know, give away,
Do
have a
another
contest of
giveaway.
sorts.
I
There's
was
a whole
again
box
bragging
of
about
Mr.
him.
Yacht Yacht.
You have to get it so that he's kind of older now that he doesn't poof as well, or he's constantly poofed rather than the making him
We
poof.
have one that went into the dryer by mistake,
Oh no,
and it is not good.
Mr. Yacht Yacht.
He's
Uh,
like Mr. Mutt Mutt now. He's like got no hair. It's just like, yeah,
All just melted off.
oh no.
it burned or something. Like it doesn't handle heat really well.
Noted. I will keep Mr. Yacht Yacht away from. Yeah, I
Dryer
don't
is
know.
bad.
I don't know what language this one is.
Oh,
You gave me
uh,
this one.
is that Like, the publisher at the bottom?
Yes.
Like,
Like.
I think that's Finnish.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
It's a horrible name for a publisher. Try to look that up online.
Yeah.
Like
Like.
Google like.
This one has sprayed edges. The other ones don't. This one's got the cool black edges. The other one in the
Oh,
series
you
is
got a
just the
Finnish
plain.
edition with the black edges?
Yeah, from
I
you.
assume I do too, I guess, but I forgot I had them.
I definitely didn't get a Finnish version from Summer. German Amazon, I did have to. That was one of the first ones I got myself. And then you gave me their. Oh. They're in the corner. They're the German
Yeah,
ones.
I can see them. They're like this thick.
They're
I
so
write a
they're
lot in
huge.
German. I'm very prolific.
It's a lot of added content for the Germans. All those
Yes.
long words. The long ridiculous words in German. Yeah. I ended up with I'm trying to think. I think Italian was the most recent. But that might have been History of What Came Next. You last time I saw you, you had just gotten the Italian version of maybe it was History of What Comes Next, and you gave me
No,
a
I think it's the
copy.
Themis files.
Is it
We
the Themis
sold like
files? I don't know.
Italian
It's on
like
the other
8
side of the
years
wall.
after the book came out. There's a lot
Yeah,
of long tail thing going. Just
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
just
and you have
renewed
that.
with a couple of publishers after almost a decade. It's kind of cool. There's still people are still reading these books like on a yeah.
Well, so we were doing the Den read along in preparation for this. People were, which was a lot of fun. Um, Luckily, Discord you can put spoiler blocks, so people could just put what file they're in, and then it would just come up black. And so it's fun because I got to click through, and then there's people who are getting ahead of each other, and then being like, "Hold on, I have to read back to what you like have done." But in a lot of them trying to get, especially like the audiobook or the ebook through libraries, they were put onto wait lists that they were like, "Okay, hold on, like I gotta like." Quite a few people were still waitlisted, and it's been 9 years, did we say? So
Yeah, you think after 9 years it wouldn't be, but it's still and people there's still a lot of copies in libraries. I'm always amazed.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's amazing. So kudos to you on that one, that it continues to
Yeah,
live
no
on.
kidding.
Well,
We were at the
I did my job 10 years ago. It's other people
You
doing
just
it
get to sit
now.
back
I
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. We were at the bookstore in Saskatoon here. There was no copies, so
No, we'll have to get
must have
them to
sold
order
out.
in. Yeah.
Turn it down.
Yeah. It was
That's
an
the good
Close
news.
that
independent.
store. Build a better one.
Yeah. That one had a tree though to get up to the kids section. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So we'll just have
Okay.
to
I'm
sternly
willing to
talk to them.
sacrifice presents for a tree that goes to the kids section.
Right? We do
Yes.
like our independence, even though we
Okay.
don't.
Keep the tree store.
Okay, that gets the pass. The tree
They
store.
can make it up for me on my next book.
Perfect.
I'll make sure they have it.
Are you allowed to hint at? Is there a next book? Are you
There is a
allowed to
next
hint?
book. Uh Publishing is in a bad mood right now, like bad. So it took a while to find it a home. Uh, but it just sold, well, like before the holidays.
Nice.
So there's
Congrats.
been no official announcement yet. There should be
Okay.
one in the near future. I'm not in a big hurry for them to announce because the world is like not super prone to listening to stuff at the moment. Um, so they
Yeah.
can take their time. I'm okay with it. It won't come out this year, so because it's publishing. Um,
Yeah.
but it is called The Many.
Okay.
Um, I don't know how much I can spoil it. Uh, well,
We
a
can leave it
lot
at
of
that.
people are gonna call it a hive mind story. To me, I wrote
Oh,
it as a zombie book, but where the zombiness is kind of a good thing, sort of, whatever. Yeah.
Oh.
oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
We'll watch for it. There you go. There's our exclusive. Huh, there we go. I didn't think there like me and you talked I think 2 years ago and you were writing something, but you weren't saying really anything to me. So I did not think that question was gonna go anywhere. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
Congrats.
it's not yeah, I mean it was super fun to write. It's very few books like oozed out like that. It was like sort of very natural process. Uh the timing is weird. Like there's content in there that was probably not gonna fly super well in some states or circles or
South of the
whatnot.
border, yeah.
But it is what it is. Because I think we're in for few years of fairly asepticized publishing. I mean, there'll be some edgy stuff coming out, but like targeted at a specific market. I think
Yeah.
the everything else is going to try and be as apolitical as it
Yeah.
can be, which means, I mean, it's going to be very political in the wrong way. I don't know. Yeah, but I think we're in for a few years of, I mean, and I kind of get it. You can print a book that you can't sell in libraries and schools in 15 states, or you can print a book that you can sell in libraries and school in 15 states. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
So, but whose voices are going to get silenced because of that or whatever? I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like the yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
different. But you've always written political, so that kind of makes sense that you would continue,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I
You
mean,
always have a bit of
I'll
an
still
edge
doing
on
my
it.
thing, but I'm
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I can eat.
Yeah.
I yeah.
You would have done really. It would have done really well if you could announce it during the 12 hours of what people are calling Commonwealth TikTok, where the Americans were gone. It was great. It was just Commonwealth on there. It was great. There was no. Everyone was just speaking their mind, and it was calm, but like nice comments. Yeah, rather
Yeah.
than
I
now.
really pity people who have to announce shit like these days. Like Canada, the US, it doesn't really matter. Like it's one thing a day and it just
Yeah,
won't stop. And it like every newspaper is wall to wall covered in one thing every single day. And
yeah, yeah. It's interesting times. What's the? There's like an ancient Greek quote of like, "May you live in." Oh my God, I have to look it up. May you live in
Unprecedented times.
unprecedented times. It's like a curse, and that's what the
be
area
very,
where.
very happy with
Yeah,
to whatever time
Absolutely.
yeah,
right now. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
Like that is a curse of we're living in it. That everything
yeah.
is
Give me boring any day.
exploding.
I'll
I
take boring
know.
times. Yes.
Just yeah. I know. Back in back when we thought the things I always look back to like well, what when I started voting. How old am I? Okay, so like let's say 15 years ago when I started and like the politics it's like, I kind of really like this person. Oh, the other person got in. That sucks. Okay. Rather than now, we're like, oh no, if my person doesn't get in, it's not good. So,
It's everything is apocalyptic, and it probably
yeah,
yeah.
kind of is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's
Eh, bird flu. Woo.
bird.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Everything's happening.
H1N1
Yep.
I forgot about H1N1 back in the day. Is that back?
or SARS.
SARS. Yeah. I always think this is total tangent, but it come to SARS. I don't know if you guys remember, but being in Toronto, SARS hit Toronto hard. And then they threw a giant concert with like 150,000 people attended that the Rolling Stones headlined to like celebrate that SARS was gone. And it was like a whole thing that AC/DC and Rolling Stones celebrated that Toronto is SARS free after all of this. And it's like, just imagine after COVID if we were like, don't worry, guys, everybody crowd together in a field. Let's celebrate that it's gone.
They kind of did that in a bunch of places. When cities reopened, they organized like big ass shows, like huge things.
Yeah.
I my
It's like,
I mean, my first I got COVID twice, and twice it was in a I got it in a public place where I didn't plan on there being so many people.
yeah.
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 I went to see like a little folk band at a tiny bar. Like there should be no more than like 12 people in there, and it's big. And then 12 is generous. Like that means
Mhm.
the guy's family came. No, it was like the Rolling Stones were in town. It was like packed, packed. You could move. It was amazing. Then I was sick, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first bout with COVID was actually directly after seeing both of you, right after Emerald City Comic Con, which I took the train back from
Mm.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
stopped into Saskatoon and met Crescent for the first time. And it was on the last day. I was like, what is it? Why am I like, it felt like a hangover, but like, I was like, what is happening? And then it was COVID, but it was funny because the train, they were like, it's a land cruise. And I was like, this is how you get COVID, is because of the land cruise.
Yes.
We're all hanging out in the bar car for too long. Ah, it makes sense. Yeah.
It's ventilation. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
share the
There's
same
no.
air for an hour. That's pretty much it. You got
Yeah.
whatever people have. Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. 96 hours on the way back from Vancouver. It was an interesting trip. I would actually do it again. You can do. Yeah. It was fascinating
Would
to
you do the
do.
full version again, or would you do because there's a shorter version?
There is the shorter version that does like just British Columbia.
Yeah.
That's the Rocky Mountain tier, I think. That was good. But I enjoyed doing the full thing. I would also do, there's one that does, it's funny, you have to do Vancouver to Toronto, and then you have to do, Toronto to Montreal is not a fun train. It's just like the normal via. But then Montreal to Halifax is another like really gorgeous. They do a whole, like all the way out
Oh,
to Halifax.
well,
Uh,
that's cool.
yeah, I would do that, and they go purposely by the ocean and stuff as they go, and
Halifax is nice. I was just there for Halcon, and it was my first time. It's a great city.
yeah.
It's a horrible place to build a city. It's like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but this place is 45 degrees everywhere. Well, it's okay. We'll build it here
Yeah,
anyway.
lots
All
of
right.
hills.
Yeah,
Yeah. How was that Comic Con? Was that just
that was awesome.
yeah.
It was great, and they treat the author guests the same way they treat the movie guests, which is rare.
Oh.
Oh,
I've
wow.
only been to a couple cons where like you get the same treatment, same lunches, same green room, same whatnot. Normally there's a green room for real famous
You're down
people, and then you got, you know,
you're down the hallway. Yeah.
chips down the hall for
You get the taupe room.
yeah. So it was great, and yeah, met a lot of really cool people. It was fun.
Nice. Nice. I
I
would do
met
that.
I met what's his name? Ben Browder, American actor. He was in Farscape. He played
Okay.
well the main character, the astronaut in Farscape. And last time I saw him was at a con in New York. When I was way younger, and it was at a big hotel, and I went out that night, got completely trashed, and the next day I was hungover. He signed my picture, said hi or whatever, and then I left. And then planes crashed into the Twin Towers. Uh, so it was that weekend.
Wow.
And we both got stuck
Shit.
in New York, and we both sort of left like middle of the night and ended up when we landed, it was happening. So
Wow.
yeah, so it was kind of an interesting conversation.
That's crazy. Yeah.
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 Huh. I'm into the whiskey. I'm starting in.
Oh, you've upgraded. I'm still at
Nice.
like
You're still
I
like
don't know.
sipping away at that.
Yeah, and it's getting warm too, which doesn't
Mm,
add to the flavor.
no. Have you had Writer's Tears? It's an Irish whiskey. It's like super
No,
popular with, I feel like, the on book
Not the
talk.
whiskey anyway.
Like everyone
I
who's a
mean the
writer
name
is
is
like,
amazing, right?
yeah.
Mm.
And it's got little like quotes as if there's chapters. I think it has, depending on which one it is, there's like chat. Yeah, this is chapter 3, which is
All right, say something interesting. I'll be right back in
okay.
literally less than 10 seconds.
I mean, we can also edit it out, but okay.
We are back.
Okay. I was saying,
This
Oh, what
is
do we got?
what
It's
do
got
you
a cork.
I
have?
was gonna get
It's gotta be
the
good.
Woodford because it's my go-to, but it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
So this is called Breaking and Entering. It's kind of old. Uh, it's from a little company called St. George, and they made funky stuff. Like they won a prize for crème de menthe, or they made a coffee liquor. And one time they
Ooh.
bought a butt ton of barrels from a bunch of whiskey producers, hence the Breaking and Entering.
Yeah.
And they did a blend to their liking, and they were only bottles produced,
Cool.
and so it was a lot of effort to. I got two. Uh,
There you go.
I don't know if it
Awesome.
was worth it. I mean, I've had better, but it's okay. It's pretty good.
It's the story.
Yeah.
Is it what type of whiskey is it? Like, is it a bourbon or is it? Yeah.
Yes.
My first time ever having bourbon that was not Jack Daniels was with you. It didn't end well, but.
Yeah.
That was after the Waking Gods party.
Yep. We've
Oh.
had good launch parties for my books.
You've had amazing launch parties. The Sleeping Giants one, I was not there, but you did. You rented a place, didn't you, for that one?
Uh, no, we just we went to like it was a bookstore and then a party inside.
Okay.
I sort of like reserved a restaurant
Mm.
and actually rented,
Oh, okay.
but only Human had a good party. We had a
Only
big
Human
room.
had a great party. Yeah, you had a full band. There
Yeah, it was
was.
in a place where you can hold like big events, and so had a couple hundred people. We had a band. We had decorations, glow in the dark hands.
I
You
thought
have
I
one.
brought it in. Yeah, I thought I had it in here to put it up there, but hold on. Let me grab it. It's
I
behind the
think
store.
mine is dead.
Yeah, hold on.
I saved one, but so you had the like plastic mannequin hands basically on every table
Yeah.
on a stand, velvety stand, whatever that I made,
Mhm.
and they would light up with what's it called? This like sort of neon looking
Yeah.
tubey thing. Yeah, and
I
so
don't
you
know if
had blue
it's.
ones for Sleeping Giants, yellow ones for Waking Gods, and red ones for Only Human.
Yeah.
And people could leave with them at the end. It's cool.
Cool.
I think you kind of, well, there was a bunch of us at the end that you were like, just take it, because I think not everyone was taking them, and you were just like, do it. Same with I got all the dog tags. So I have, that was from that night. There's Kara's dog tag.
You got Eva's
And
somewhere.
Eva's. Yeah, Eva's is there.
Eva is a super rare one. I
Oh.
yeah, it's the nerd, the collector nerd in me. I was trying to, I got Random House to pay for to make dog tags to give away at events, but I wanted a super rare dog tag to give away to special people at special events or whatnot,
Yeah.
and so I got him to make a second run of
This is a
dog
lot of
tags.
busting. Yeah. There you go. And I was dressed as Kara that night, so I was very happy that I suddenly had a dog tag. That's why I have this, was my like security pass that I was wearing that
Yes,
night.
MS Files cosplay that night. We had
Yes.
Kara and Rose.
There's my helmet that I cannot put on over the. Well, I guess I could. I'm not gonna be able to hear you for a second. Hold on, I'll put it on. It does also. Oh, maybe not.
Yes,
I'm glad she didn't do an ear piercing scream when she put it on.
but it's kind of cheating. It's got the alien symbols on it, so you know what it's from, which
Yeah.
helps
Mm.
really because otherwise it's just like it's like dressing up as Rose from the books is okay. So you're a scientist. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. My friend Haley was Rose. That is actual. I tried to make the barcode as much as I could on that one. So the front of it does have my attempt at the barcode. I don't think it would scan. I don't think it's gonna do anything, but there you go. Yeah, that was a good night. And you had there's like we had gift bags. That company I work for that everybody pretty much knows was there selling books that night, and I confused them by asking for an employee discount.
You had a
And they were
Scholastic
like,
book fair?
it was Scholastic Book Fair. That's who produces this. Yeah.
they sold a lot of books.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
discount though.
No discount. I know. I walked up and I was like, "Do I get the employee discount?" And they kind of went, what? No, what?" And I was like, "It's fine. It's fine."
Yeah. No, but I mean, I thought they might make a, like a 10% thing or whatnot, or just,
oh
to
yeah,
make people feel. But
that's
they
it,
did good. I mean, we sold 165 hardcovers at full price that night.
and
It's
they all
not
had
bad.
special stamps, right?
Yes, the one-time stamp that has been destroyed.
Oh, there you go. There's that one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm the best. That's what you wrote in this one. And I'm the
Did I
best.
write "I'm the best"?
No, you wrote you are the best to me.
Oh, okay, that's better.
This one
Way
says I'm.
funnier the other way.
This one says I'm president of the fan club, and it actually starts in the advanced reader copy, and then you moved over to this one, and said that I was the president of the fan club, which I've never done anything with that power until today. Today was my. All right, I'll rally the.
Presidential moment.
Flex
Hey,
the
yes,
presidential muscle. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. This one has. This is my pride and joy that I talk about all the time to people of how many times we've. I almost didn't want to leave you with it in Seattle. I thought you were gonna like throw it in the lake or in the sea.
It's got powder in it
There is the powder in it. Hold on.
from the Holy Festival.
Yeah. Where is that? There.
The color fest.
I'm like, hold on. I'm scared the powder is gonna get in my whiskey. It's in the middle of the book now.
Oh yeah.
With Pierce's
Yeah,
signature there. And Sam Maggs.
I
Oh.
think this is. I tried to make that with my forehead.
You did. It says this is powder forehead smudge. I'll put up a
Uh,
picture of what we looked like. I'll go there. A picture of what we looked
it's a
like
good
that
picture.
day.
It's
Yeah,
a really good
It
picture.
is a good
and
picture.
and then you have to remember that we then went out to a whole bunch of bars. We went and saw Hedwig and the Angry Inch dressed like that, and someone complimented my makeup, and I was like, "Oh, that's not what's happening here." Yeah, as I was absolutely covered in powder, and then yeah, by
Yeah,
the end of it,
we
it was
didn't
just
change
like
for the show.
no. Or the bar after, where I think I looked like Braveheart. My face was just blue at that point.
Yeah, by then we just like we'd lost most of it, so it was just like weird and dirty and
Yeah,
like
it just looked
mud. Yeah,
grimy. We'd sweat through most of it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I remember being very worried it wasn't going to come out of my hair. It did, though. So kudos to however they make that.
yep.
Yeah,
I think it's just starch.
I think so. It's got to be some kind of safe that we can throw it in our, like, in people's faces and not worry about it.
Lungs.
I trust the powder better than something you ingest, but I when I was at the University of Chicago, we had tea every week. So on every Thursday, we'd have basically a potluck, and the student association would buy booze. It was
Mm.
like open bar every week. So and there was a theme every time. And so one time I hosted it and I made an alien theme, and I'd gone to Vegas and I brought back a bunch of Romulan ale from Star Trek The Experience, which existed at the
Mm.
time.
Okay.
So I had no luggage. So I came back with like a big duffel bag full of blue beer. But beer's yellow, right? So if you put blue food coloring in it, you end up with
Let's go
green
green.
beer.
Yeah.
So you have to imagine the amount of food coloring you need to put in beer for it to be dark blue.
Yeah.
The bottles were stained when you poured your drink. And so, but this is university, right? It's our professors are there. My, thesis director is there. And so he writes back like a week, like maybe 4 days later. I don't know how to say this, but is it still green? And it had stained our insides
Mm.
for like a fairly long period of time, which I assume is not good for you, but yeah.
Yeah, probably not. I won't lie, I have had glitter in my system because I have edible glitter sitting right here. I use a lot of edible glitter, and that's come out that it's like a
Who
week
doesn't?
later, and I'm like, that is still coming out of my body, the edible glitter. Yeah.
I've never seen it come out, which means it's still there. going to be all
Forever.
at one point.
Forever, yeah.
Yep.
If you had a
Just
little,
pure glitter.
like a little light inside you, it'd be like a little disco ball everywhere.
There you go.
A large disco ball.
Yeah. I like it. We'll have to add glitter next time. Now, glitter gets everywhere. Glitter's the worst. I would never. I have all the edible glitter, but now I'm sparkling because I touched it. Huh.
Yeah, I didn't make yours with edible glitter.
No, Crescent has a Pierce themed cocktail he makes that normally has gold glitter, and he made it for me on Sunday night.
You go on.
It's okay. So it's a full ounce of Lagavulin 16, a full ounce of Wild Turkey 101, half an ounce of yellow chartreuse, half an ounce of ginger syrup, half an ounce of lemon juice, and a quarter ounce of Amaro di Angostura.
And then he adds gold to it, so it's all golden.
Gold glitter. Yeah.
Chorus. It's got a. I mean, it's got a hammer. A lot. I mean, the octane is pretty high on this.
Yep.
Like,
It goes very, very hard.
Yeah.
That is. I mean, that's fully a 3-ounce drink.
that hurts. The first time I met Pierce hurt too. It was my first con ever. You know, like I booked, I'd just come out. I'd been to New York Comic Con and I'd given away like ARCs and stuff, but it was my first con with a panel and, after the book came out. So, and I'm on the panel with Pierce, Kevin Hearn, who was there at the time? Scott Siegler and Jason Hoff. They're all, I think, New York Times bestsellers by then, and I'm just terrified. But I mean, really, really, really terrified. And I'm a bit jet lagged, so I think if I have a couple drinks, I'll go to bed, I'll crash early, and then I'll be
Yeah, that's always how that
morning.
works.
And me and Pierce sort of, I don't know, got our feet caught in the carpet there, trying different whiskeys. They had good ones, and so we kept arguing. And so, yeah, the next day hurt. The next day really hurt.
I'm pretty sure
I
he
was in-
told us his side of the story during the Glitter and Gala. I think we have it recorded where he blamed you that he puked in a taxi.
Or maybe puked out of a
I
taxi.
take no
Puked
responsibility.
out of the taxi. He's like, no, I got out of the window. But yeah, he was blaming you.
Yeah, there were a couple, but it may or may not be my fault. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we've ever hung out and I've been not hungover the next day, so I'm gonna blame you.
See, that's my life every day. You just
blame you
Hungover?
for
give, and then I get blamed for absolutely everything.
too much alcohol. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll have to side by side these stories that I'm pretty sure we have recorded, or else he told us ahead of, I think it was during the recording. I don't know. He talked a bit before we started.
We'll have to
recording.
just get you guys both on to refute your sides.
I mean, if I'm being blamed at the end of his, I very much prefer my side of the story.
Yeah.
You see how it's like no blame whatsoever?
No. Yeah, you equally got in trouble together, basically. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, and then you were drinking in Seattle together at some point, weren't you? Because then when we were in Seattle, you had similar stories. Weren't you at Emerald City with him? Oh, I thought you were at New York.
I went to New York before, but Emerald City was my first con with the panel and everything.
Oh, I understand.
Oh, New York, we had. That's the one he's blaming me for.
That's the one. It's New York.
Oh, he's correct on that one. Yes, that was later. He's very much correct on that one.
Okay.
It was at Sleep No More.
Yeah.
The show. It's a big show in a big building, whatnot, and they had a super cool retro bar at the entrance, and we went back to it afterwards. And they made a killer old fashioned, and I might have gone a little overboard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one is totally my fault. I accept
Okay. You accept the blame.
responsibility.
That's the one I think he fully blamed you for, was that one.
He would be correct.
Okay. Perfect. We have it on record then. Love it. Well, we're at like an hour and a half now. Is there anything else we want to discuss?
Squirrel.
Squirrels, always.
Fat Gus.
What did you yell? I didn't even hear it.
Fat Gus.
Oh, Gus.
At dusk, yeah.
I did not get the
Superhero landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone go watch Fat Gus. Now I'm thinking of poor Larry somewhere out in the world. Larry Jr. out in the world somewhere.
Larry's dead. What is the
Yeah,
life
yeah.
expectancy of a squirrel? I mean, it can't be that long, right? It's not
It's got to be like 3 to 5 years, I would guess.
Yeah,
something.
that's
Yeah.
my guess.
I think Larry is gone. Even if he
Oh.
survived. There were
Poor
reports of a small squirrel trying to get into people's homes for like a few days and then nothing.
That was the end of it. Yeah. He was trying to
Yep.
he just wanted a family, and that's all he
I
wanted.
know, we ruined Larry.
Aw. Poor
He was nice.
Larry.
I have pictures.
Yeah, I want to see pictures of Larry. You'll have to send me.
Oh,
Oh,
no, you could
do you have them
we could do
immediately?
this. Technology allows us to do anything we
Technology.
want. We're gonna do it low tech though.
Oh my God.
Oh,
He's so precious.
This is little Larry. The
that's
second.
so cute. Yeah.
Well, I would die for him.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel bad now. I mean, someday I will make it up to little Larry the third.
The little, yeah. It'll happen. I mean, you already saved. Did Jin come before or after? Because you saved Jin
Then
Urso,
came
right?
after.
Well, there you go. You already saved a different creature from your neighborhood.
Yeah, it's just to make up for Larry.
Yeah. Journo,
Well, I mean,
for those
technically,
listening,
Larry
Jin
would have been
Urso
eaten
is
by
a
a
Zero
cat
in the
at that very
cosmic
moment.
scales.
So I gave Larry a few extra days of life, but yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I could have done more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Jin Urso is the cat who's adorable. She matches my cats who are currently prowling around at my feet.
Yeah, is she here? No, she's not here. We can do technology. Jin Urso,
Technology.
when we found her
I was
under
gonna
a
say, where's
torch,
her in the teacup? That's the cutest one.
she was tiny.
She's tiny.
Oh my God.
Matches my cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're all, might be the
Yep.
same cat. All right. All right. Well, we'll sign off for now. Thank you so much for joining us. And then
Yeah.
we will talk soon so that we can talk all about Take Them to the Stars, which is there. And then
Ooh,
we
reading
can,
those.
yeah.
reverse pointing. I'm impressed.
I know, right? Look at it. I don't, it's because it's directly behind me I can do it. Normally I cannot figure out which side they're all on. But thank you, everybody. Oh, go
There's
ahead.
a lot of nerdy stuff to talk about for the next books, but yeah,
Yes.
you're absolutely correct. Today we covered the Themis files and the questions and colored poop and squirrels.
What else do we
So
need?
yeah, no, it's
What
everything.
else do we need? Yeah.
Yep.
We
Thank you,
got it
everybody,
all.
for listening. Drop us what questions we missed, and then we'll go on for the next one. But yeah. All right, Sylvain, you stay
Thank you so
on.
much
But
for having me
of course,
in my house.
in your own house, we make it easy. Other than trying to get onto Discord, which I am told you are our 1300th Den member. You get that honor of being number 1300 in the Discord server.
I timed it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
clearly.
Yeah,
The
takes effort.
yeah, the moderator said you can't leave after this because you are holding number 13. We can't drop
And
till
we've already
99 again.
done it twice.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, thank you, everybody,
Right.
for listening. Sylvain, I'll keep you on the line, but we will sign off. There we go. Excellent.